Well, I guess this is where I say welcome back to another match preview, match day 18. We are halfway the league. It is January and it is normal to be halfway, but however, we are also halfway the table trying to move towards where we belong. 4 out of 4 wins in the past 4 games. That really makes a lot of sense. We are versing Crystal Palace, who have not won a game of football in their last 4 matches. It makes also a lot of sense. So welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and this is your predicted lineup match preview. Arsenal up against Crystal Palace at the Emirates Stadium. It should be a winnable fixture. By the end of this video, we will know whether we can win this game or not, because Crystal Palace have not lost so many games versing those teams ahead of them. Leicester City, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, they have not lost such games. They have lost, they have lost surprising games like Leeds, Aston Villa, and a couple of others. But we are here to break that down and see whether Arsenal can go 5 in 5 games just winning. Can we continue winning? Because the more we win, the more we get that confidence. We have very hard games to come ahead of us: Southampton, Manchester United, and a couple of those. So, but because Crystal Palace comes first on Thursday, that is the match preview we are going to be talking about. So I'll be taking you through the predicted lineup. Gabriel Martinelli is going to be missing out of action, and I know many Arsenal fans are going to be really missing him so much. The partnership between the youngsters is broken now. Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka is now broken. So probably Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang will be utilizing the left wing as Alexander Lacazette, who has been playing so magnificently and majestically well with the youngsters, will be leading the forward line. And I also expect a lot of changes, like Thomas Partey to come back and Gabriel Magalhaes as well. So let's see if Mikel Arteta is going to really make those changes. On the other side, I expect Wilfred Zaha to be a big point in Crystal Palace's game. I think it's just like a Jack Grealish at Aston Villa. These clubs build on them. Crystal Palace on Wilfred Zaha, Aston Villa on Jack Grealish. When they do not have Jack Grealish, Aston Villa are absolutely out of the game. If they do not have Wilfred Zaha, Crystal Palace are absolutely out of the game. But when these two are present, for their squads, it's quite different. And I hope Arsenal know this. I hope we can actually get on very, very well with Wilfred Zaha. And I suppose in order to do that, we need this guy, Thomas Partey. I think it is high time Mikel Arteta brought back Thomas Partey. I know he's very, very well now. He's back in full training. He's been training well. And Mikel Arteta says he has overcome the injury crisis he has gone through. So probably it is high time Arsenal started using Thomas Partey, because we actually need to stop the runs of Wilfred Zaha, the passing. I think Palace are more like Manchester United. I've already said, if you can stop Manchester United's runs and that counter-attacking football, you can stop them. And we did stop them, in that way in the first leg. Probably can do the same. They're a little bit on fire, aren't they? But that's a talk for another day, because their game against us is very imminent. But I think Palace are also like that. The difference with the difference with Palace, they do not have so many good players like Manchester United do. They have Zaha, they have they don't have that kind of influx of good players like United. But still, you do not undermine them, do you? They are very, very well equipped, and I think they are going to be a very big threat. So let's go into the predicted lineup and see how could actually Arsenal line up with Thomas Partey against Crystal Palace. We are welcoming back a new boy, but of course, make no mistake, that doesn't mean we stand a very big chance against Crystal Palace. They are very, very stubborn as the lineup, and I think Ray Hodgson knows this. He knows if there is anything he can do is to stop Arsenal's run. But make no mistake, we are not going to be stopped by them, at least for now. So in goal, it's going to be Burnley. I've already told you my thoughts on Runason and the other goalkeepers. And since it is a Premier League clash, Burnley comes back in goal. There are no questions. He did that. He did make that very, very, very important save against Newcastle in the FA Cup. Probably should be out because Andy Carroll should have scored that. Caro had two clear-cut chances on goal. He should have utilized one anyway. But I think Leno was in top form. He was on top of his game, and he did try to save us. I don't expect Gabriel Magalhaes to be back because Mikel Arteta did say that he's going to be assessed and he's going to really see whether he's going to play or not. So I think he's going to leave him out of this game. Based on the fact that we have a game on Monday, we need a lot of squad rotation. So I still think Pablo Mari will be in the centre back, partnering the new boy who just signed his new contract, Arsenal, Rob Holding. Of course, my thoughts on that one are very, very clear. I've already said that, and my thoughts on him, and I won't say them again. So, Rob Holding and Pablo Mari, they have had that kind of partnership in the last 3 games that you think has been a little bit amazing. First and foremost, they've never played together that consistent. They have never, and I think they've been consistently, playing well against West Brom, against Brighton, and against Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea being the harder game, against Brighton, they were a little bit exposed, but they kept that calm and we didn't concede. We didn't concede against West Brom, and Pablo Mari did cause that penalty against Chelsea. But I think he's been decent, and I think his quality and distance has been making Rob Holding that kind of defender that many Arsenal fans are now blinded to think that he's another, Puyo or Sergio Ramos, who I don't think he is. But anyway, I think Pablo Mari and Rob Holding should be partnering in that centre back. Now the right back, I think it is a non-negotiable deal. It's always Hector Bellerin, whether he's on form or not. It is always Hector Bellerin unless he has an injury or he's out with a yellow card when he has accumulated 5 yellow cards. But it's always going to be Hector Bellerin. I want to say this. Ever since he came back from that suspension, him and Granit Xhaka, they've been a little bit different. Now, I don't mean to praise them because I do not really like them, and you know that. But it's not really, it doesn't make sense to come out and pick on players who have been playing well. So I think Bellerin deserves some credit as well as Granit Xhaka. They've been playing well. Bellerin has stopped making those mistakes. I don't know what was on him. I don't know whether it was the frustration or anything, but I think he's become a better right back. Although I still think we need to play Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Mikel Arteta needs to think about that as well. Otherwise, we shall lose him. Now, Kian Tierney comes in the left back. Player of December was Bukayo Saka, but if Kian Tierney moves on, keeps at those performances in the left, in the left fullback position, is going to be my player of January. He is very, very good. He's so magnificent. That goal he scored against West Brom is still ringing in my head. It still rings bells in my head. It was a goal. It was a beauty. And I said it that if Kian Tierney wants to become one of those best left backs in the world, he's got to stop crossing in balls casually. You've got to get other options. Cut in, get inside, try to shoot, try to lay low passes, try to bring in those short passes. It makes you a full, complete fullback. All those interesting fullbacks that we love, they don't really, cross the ball casually. They always, have something to add to their game. Look at, Alphonso Davies. Look at Marcelo. Look at, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Look at Robertson. They have something different they add to their game, and I think Kian Tierney has started doing that. He did that against Chelsea, and he won a penalty, and he did the same thing against West Brom, and he scored a goal. So probably he's another non-negotiable. Now in the midfield, I want to welcome back Thomas Partey as part of the midfield. I think we missed him so much, and we were really exploited against Brighton, and I didn't like it. But the fact was, Granit Xhaka and Hamad Elneny are such primitive quality. I don't think they are, they're supposed to be playing at Arsenal. And you could see the difference between Bissouma and Xhaka and Elneny. He could surpass the two. It's like Bissouma had, 2 players in one. So Thomas Partey, I think this is a game, by the way, for Thomas Partey. Very, very crucial for Thomas Partey, and very crucial for Arsenal. If you have Thomas Partey, I would actually pair him with Granit Xhaka in the midfield just to reward him for his good performances. I wouldn't play Danny Ceballos. I don't know, but I think Ceballos this season, things are not really working out for him. But I think you play Partey and Xhaka just to stop the runs of Crystal Palace. First and foremost, you've got to stop them from having that ball time in, time out. Secondly, you've got to stop their runs in midfield and behind the midfield. And I think Partey and Xhaka can do that. And then the third thing, you have to work so hard. There are players like Zaha, players that are always running 90 minutes throughout the game. You've got to stop them. You've got to make their midfield inactive. How do you do that? I think Partey and Granit Xhaka can do that for us very, very well. And of course, in front of them, no question, is ESR, the man himself, Emil Smith-Rowe. That player, I think, has made the difference at Arsenal. Ever since he was introduced, he has made the difference. And I agree with Mesut Ozil when he says that Emile Smith-Rowe has shown Mikel Arteta that you need a number 10 in that squad. You need a number 10. Every team plays with a number 10. At least not with a traditional number 10, but you need to have that creative player, that creative-minded player. Every team has that in their setting. Liverpool have an influx of them. Manchester City have a Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester United have a Bruno Fernandes. Chelsea have a Mason Mount and Kai Havertz and Christian Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech. Every team has that kind of plan. I think you have seen the difference. Arsenal with a number 10 and Arsenal without a number 10. Emile Smith-Rowe, big up. He did score over the weekend when we were beating Newcastle out of the FA Cup, which I think was a very, very nice goal. He survived that red card. I don't know what we would have done because of that stupid decision by the referee. And I think these are some of the few moments where I think I can say I'm in for VAR, but trust me, I will never make that mistake. I hate VAR. It has really, really made football a hell of a game. Right wing, of course, is another non-negotiable. Bukayo Saka, what a player. I think he's the most... Let's be very honest. He's the most valued player at Arsenal right now. I think... if you do not have 150 million, sorry, you cannot talk about Bukayo Saka. He's English. That makes him very expensive. He's young. That adds to his value. He is in form and he is crazily and ridiculously talented. He is so on fire. So he's made himself very, very reliable. And I think if we are going to win this game, Smith-Rowe and Saka must take issues in their hands. But the good thing now, they might have Thomas Partey to back up things. And then Bellerin and Tierney will be supporting from the full-back positions. On the left wing, I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is now a little bit sure that he's going to play because Gabriel Martinelli is out of the question. But my conscience doesn't tell me really that Aubameyang should be playing on the left. I think it should be Martinelli on the left and then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang playing through the middle. However, you can't really kick out Alexander Lacazette. He has had a couple of good games, a couple of good performances for Arsenal, and he's our top scorer, 9 goals this season. So you really can't push him out of the starting lineup, can you? He's been blending so well with Emile Smith-Rowe. They have that kind of connection that Aaron Ramsey-Wilshere and Alexis Sanchez had with Mesut Ozil. So probably Lacazette and Emile Smith-Rowe, you cannot do away with either of them. You only have to play both of them. So Aubameyang will be accommodated to the left, and then Alexander Lacazette, top scorer of Arsenal in the Premier League this season, will be playing as the center forward, and I think he has done that in the very well in the recent games. He's done it so well. I was very, very happy with him, in that Brighton game. He comes on very late, not actually very late. He comes on in the second half in the 60s. He gets his first touch to stop the ball and his second touch to put the ball in the back of the net. That was really, really good. So that is the starting lineup. I think it should be a 4-2-3-1, and it should be attack-minded. We need to start, to start attacking Crystal Palace right from minute 1, unless there is anyone who says that Crystal Palace is going to win this game. But I think if we can attack them on that threshold, we can actually do beat them. My prediction is Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 1. I think we can go on winning. I don't think it's time up for our winning streak to run. However, to break. However, I think if Crystal Palace come in this game and they start attacking right away, they get the first goal, it's going to be very, very, very hard for Arsenal to come back in the game. So we need to get the early goal, we need to get the first goal, and we need to stay focused throughout the game. We have 4 wins out of the past 4 games. That is brilliant. We need to continue with the winning run. And Crystal Palace do not have a win in their last 4 games. So again, that is a motivator for Arsenal. But they're just 1 point. They have 22 points, collected in this season. We have 23. They're just 1 point behind us. That means if we lose this game, they'll be ahead of us by 2 points. You don't want that. And I told you this January we have a couple of hard fixtures. So this should be one of the easy fixtures Arsenal has to win. Crystal Palace is not in good form. They are struggling to get back their winning, to get back to winning ways. And we are already on the winning road, so we need to use that advantage to get this done. My name is Kosi, and that has been the predicted lineup and match preview. Arsenal up against Crystal Palace at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow on Thursday. Do not forget, on Monday we shall be taking on Newcastle, another game that I think we shall win, or we must win. I'll be talking about that. After this game, I'll be dropping Mikel Arteta's press conference and reaction about the game. I'll be dropping the match analysis. I'll be dropping so many videos to come. 5 things we learned, as well as the player rating. So make sure you're tuned in for all of that. I'll sign out for now, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.